Senator Marshall from the great state of Kansas got into it with Dr. Anthony Fauci and asked him point blank, said, "Doctor, we have disclosures from all sorts of government officials related to their financial records. Where are yours? Do you here today promise to make them available publicly?" Here's what Senator Marshall said to the doctor in front of the Senate committee.
Dr. Fauci, according to Forbes, you have an annual salary in 2020 was $434,000. You oversee over $5 billion in federal research grants. As the highest paid employee in the entire federal government, yes or no, would you be willing to submit to Congress and the public a financial disclosure that includes your past and current investments? After all, your colleague, Dr. Walensky, and every member of Congress submits a financial disclosure that includes their investments.
Would you like to do that, doctor? Microphone's a little off there. Go ahead and press that button, doctor. Right, yeah, right there.
I don't understand why you're asking me that question. My financial disclosure is public knowledge and has been so for the last 37 years or so, 35 years that I've been director.
The big tech giants are doing an incredible job of keeping it from being public. We'll continue to look for it. Where would we find it?
All you have to do is ask for it. You're so misinformed. It's extraordinary.
Why am I misinformed? This is a huge issue. Wouldn't you agree with me that you see things before members of Congress would see them, so that there's an air of appearance that maybe some shenanigans are going on? You know, I don't think that's. I assume that's
Senator,
not the case.
What are you talking about?
It's not the case.
My financial disclosures are public knowledge and have been so. You are getting amazingly wrong information.
So I cannot find them. Our office cannot find them. Where would they be if they're public knowledge? Where?
It is totally accessible to you if you want it.
For the public. Is it accessible to the public?
To the public.
Great. We look forward to reviewing it.
Totally incorrect.
Well, we look forward to reviewing it.
Senator Marshall, Dr. Fauci has answered you. It is public information, and he's happy to give it to you if you would ask. Senator Moran.
Oh, now I don't know if you heard that. Very, very
Chairwoman, thank
low.
you.
Very, very low in an off-mic comment. Dr. Fauci says, "Oh, what a moron!" there, and you can hear what a moron. He whispers it as he's kind of ripping the mic off of his chest, and you heard several people, Dr. Fauci specifically, say it's public record. Anybody who wants it can get it. You're a moron. You know how to get it. You got to ask for it. You heard the chairperson of the committee also say, it's public record. He's already answered that. Move on. Here, once again, is that little close-up of that moron comment.
Senator Moran.
There, hard to hear. You maybe can't hear it, but he does say it. I can hear it in my earbuds. And he is, of course, talking about Senator Marshall. So Senator Marshall, unhappy about that pejorative being used his direction, posted this on January 15th, says, "Breaking. Senator Marshall proves Fauci lied by obtaining previously unpublished financial records." Okay, we just heard Fauci say, nope, this is perfectly accessible to the American public. But he said, no, they weren't. They were unpublished, but now we have published them. You're going to notice that he actually sent a letter over to Fauci after that exchange that we just reviewed. We'll take a look at what that said. He sent this over on January 12th. He said, "Hey, Dr. Fauci, on Tuesday, I asked if you'd provide your financial disclosures and your investments to Congress and the public. As a member of the committee responsible for the oversight of the NIAID, which is what Fauci runs, I have direct, and I expect direct, transparent, and honest answers. You work for the government. Instead, I was met with a personal insult. You called me a moron, deflection, and a counter question as to why financial disclosures are important. Well, it's because people want to make sure that you're not getting suitcases filled with cash delivered to your house. At a time when multiple federal officials have stepped down due to questionable financial transactions, these questions, says Marshall, are both reasonable and relevant." He writes, "As a United States senator exercising oversight powers, it is unequivocally allowed to request these disclosures in a public hearing. Today, you still have not provided me with a copy of your disclosures, nor have you made your disclosures available to the public. According to New York Post, following the hearing, a spokesperson for your office could not produce or immediately point to these financial disclosures." Okay, so Fauci's full of garbage. Additionally, according to the New York Post, Center for Public Integrity reporter Liz Wheat tweeted a copy of disclosure form signed by you in April 2020, but that document had extensive redactions. Okay, so we can see what was in it. Forbes has also reported the NIH has not provided several documents requested through the Freedom of Information Act, including conflict of interest disclosures, financial disclosures, royalty payments. Forbes reports the NIH made us sue for current financial disclosures. So don't sit here and shake your head at me telling us that you have been forthcoming. You have not. Roger Marshall says, this letter is to formally request your financial disclosures for the fiscal years covering the pandemic. Several of my requests for information from your office have required months for a response. Please provide disclosures by 5 p.m. And he did. Please provide me copies that only redacts personal and sensitive information allowed for by law. So Senator Marshall fires that off. Fauci gets it and complies. Marshall hops onto Twitter and says, breaking. I obtained Fauci's previously unpublished financial disclosures. He was being completely dishonest about his disclosures being readily accessible to the public, which is why I'm releasing them now. Because he said that they were public. Here you go, America. These are a couple of snippets from his Charles Schwab report. Of course, just financial stuff, but you can see all of this was disclosed. December 1 to 31 of 2020, account value $638,000. Overview, we've got 2% cash, we've got 82% equity funds, 16% in bond funds, market value there, total account value. And so it just kind of breaks it down. We've got cash, 14,000. We've got some bond funds. Looks like market value of that, 102,000. We've got, about a 16% increase in assets. We have here bond funds, another 102,000. We can see what's appreciating and depreciating. Mutual funds in the amount of $623,000 market value. And so you can see some of the stocks and some of the funds that he's interested in. But, nothing really too interesting that I saw, but I'm not a financial person. Let's take a look at this person who is Adam Andrzejowski, somebody who runs a website that publishes a lot of this stuff. He says the disclosures show that Fauci's made $1.7 million in 2020. Did pretty well during the year of that catastrophic pandemic. Income, royalties, travel perks, and investment gains. It says last night, Roger Marshall received this information about Fauci's 2020 financial disclosures. Right after he got called a moron, financial disclosures say that his net worth exceeds $10.4 million. Household income, perks and benefits, unrealized gains, $1.7 million. Federal income and benefits, $868,000. Perks, $113,000. Total investment accounts grew by about $800,000. Open the Books is the organization that this guy runs. And so if you go over there, he goes through a lot of this in details. Investment income, a couple interesting things that stand out. 8.4 million investments for Fauci. Wife was 2.1 million. So IRAs worth, 638,000. Brokerage account, revocable trusts. He's got an investment in a restaurant. So the restaurant is in San Francisco. It's called Jackson Fillmore. It's worth between $1,000 and $15,000, but he didn't get any income from it. Looks like an interesting place. Not sure that it looks really open, but there is a picture that I grabbed off the internet. You can see salary, $668,000. It's good to be at the top. Dr. Fauci is the director of the NIAID, earned $434,000 in cash, out earning all 4.3 million federal employees. The highest paid fella out there between 2010 and 2020 received 3.7 million. Fauci's wife also is a chief bioethicist at National Institutes for Health. She made $234,000. And so they're doing quite well, working for the government for the last 50-something years. Perks and benefits, lucrative amount of paid time off, subsidized healthcare, pension benefits, myriad of other prerequisites. Says 44 days of paid time off. He's held a federal job for 55 years in government. Oh my gosh, get a real job. A good faith estimate of the taxpayer cost of those benefits is 30% multiplied by the salary, background. So yeah, so he's going to get a pension of $350,000 per year, the highest in federal history. He's going to receive over $1 million during the first 3 years of his retirement. Yeah, he's got book deals, royalties, and reimbursements from this book he wrote, Harrison's, or he's a co-author of this. So he got a little bit of money out of this, $6,328. Copy of those royalties. Gifts and reimbursements, so travel, right? Anytime he goes to the Robert F. Kennedy Ripple of Hope Gala. Well, somebody's got to pay for that, and so that's a benefit to him, and so he's got to declare that. So $5,000. Total goes out to about $13,000. And so the Faucis living pretty lavishly, I would say, while the rest of America locked down and working from home and quarantining and so on and so forth, wrapping ourselves in bubble wrap. Fauci's living pretty lavishly, doing quite well, him and his wife. And so he'll probably continue to do that as long as society continues to make sure that they give him total power and control. He'll continue to exploit it, as many people in our government will. And that's a lesson that we should all keep our eye on because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. What do you think about Dr. Anthony Fauci, about his financial disclosures? Would love to hear from you down in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe before you get out of here. We have a live show every weekday. I would love to see you and join us on that because it's a live show. It's interactive and it's a lot of fun. Would love to see you there. Stick around. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.